A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Amanda, and I'm a student from the Faculty of Business. Welcome to You Alive, organized by the NUS Office of Alumni Relations. This program is in 3 sections: a 10-minute talk by our speaker, Ms Rani Singam, a 20-minute interview with Mr. Viswa Sarasivan, chairman of the You Alive Organizing Committee, and then a 30-minute Q&A session. If you wish to ask a question, please make your way to the microphones placed along the aisles. Introduce yourself and speak directly into them. This is essential so that the online community is able to hear your question. Today, we will also be using Pigeonhole Live for our Q&A sessions. If you have a smartphone, a tablet, or a laptop computer with you, just launch your internet browser and go to pigeonhole.at. Key in our event passcode, which is UAlive. I repeat, it is UALIVE, UAlive. Click Go, and you're free to fire away all your burning questions while also voting for any question that interests you. The more popular questions with more votes will stand a higher chance to be answered by the speakers. Thank you for your kind attention, and please sit back and enjoy.
Alive.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome on stage Ms Rani Singam.
Good evening, everyone. Well, this is new for me. I normally don't get to see the faces of the audience. So please, try not to grimace. It's truly a tremendous honor to be here today. This is the university that conferred on me a Bachelor of Laws degree. This is the place that trained me to become an advocate and solicitor. But I've been invited today in spite of the fact that I did not go on and build a massive career in law. And those of you who know my journey would know that I went to dramatically change course in life. So I'm very honored and grateful to NUS for inviting me here today, and for the many times that the university has invited me to perform at university-related activities, festivals, platforms. So what happened actually in 1994, before the turn of the century? I graduated from law school and I went on dutifully, as my parents would wish, and they're here tonight, to join the Singapore Legal Service. I worked as a legal officer for 7 years, and in the course of that time, I fell in love with my best friend, who's also here today, and we got married, Dharma, and we went on to have our first child, Logan. And life was pretty much set, you could say. You know, I was well on my way to living a charmed life. Then something changed, and motherhood came into the picture. And when I gave birth to my son, I knew from that moment, or even before, during the course of the pregnancy, I knew that I wanted to be a full-time mom, and I wanted to be home to change the diaper, make the next meal, watch be there for the first steps, take him on a ride, just do every little thing that a mother would do, and to be there. And I realized, I knew for a very long time that I could not. It was just not possible for me. And I say this, purely from my personal perspective, that I would not be able to have everything, the full-fledged career, the family and the parenthood and, being everything, and do it perfectly. So I felt that something had to give, and that's when we discussed it and we talked about it, and we listened to feedback. And I decided to leave my legal job. And at that point in time, it was really a temporary pause, just okay, I'll go back to the legal service and I'll continue on that path later at such time when the kids are all grown up or whatever. But when you take a break in life, something magical happens. And a break that you take, it's a bit like a sabbatical, Of course, there's motherhood and all these diapers and breastfeeding and sleepless nights and everything rolled into that. But there was time for me to explore and to think about life and the choices that I had made for myself. And a little bit of time to watch television. Because working mothers, I think many of you are career women or have been career women, my mother included, do not have the luxury of watching TV in the daytime. So I would watch a bit of, Oprah Winfrey. Anybody listens to Oprah or watches Oprah Winfrey? Great. Okay, if you're a fan, you're a fan. And wow, there are even gentlemen who put up their hands, so that's cool. Because typically Oprah draws a lot of ladies and men who have an affinity for her message. And her message is very compelling. It's about really fulfilling and pursuing your life's desire and about living an authentic life. So somehow that resonated with me and it captured my imagination and it set me alive. It made me realize that I had a very deep desire, and I had buried that desire so deep that after 30 years, it kind of just came out and spoke to me in no uncertain terms. Rani, you have to be a singer. You have to explore this ambition, this childhood ambition to be a singer. So that was really the beginning, the genesis of Rani Singam. Before that, I was Navarani Singam. In full, that's my birth name, and people call me all kinds of Nava Rani or Navarani or Anavarane or whatever, versions. But I chose Rani Singam because it's, I guess, easier to pronounce on stage, and that was the start of the singer, lawyer turned singer. I must say that the 13 years since I made the switch have not been, it has not been a path paved with gold and riches, obviously. We all know how much singers make. And it's not been a life of wine and roses, and you know what I mean. I've had my share of challenges and still face the challenges. But I must say that the life that I have today, that the life that you could say, have created for myself, is a life beyond just contentment. The life I had before as a lawyer, mother, wife, daughter, was a life of contentment. I had everything, no complaints really, no regrets. But the life today is a life of passion, a life of true desire and, ambition and motivation and excitement and just fire. Waking up in the morning and not dreading having to think of work, because work is truly joy. you know. And that's the kind of life that I'm living, and I'm very thankful for the life that I have. It's been a combination of many things. Many would say providence, yes. Providence has a lot to do with it. Preparation. Preparation is so essential. I mean, you could say the legal training did not go to waste, because I did all my research and I had to start from ground zero, you know, to learn about jazz. What is jazz? I didn't even know half the things that I have learned, or that I will keep learning when I first started out. So I had to do a lot of that learning, preparation. But most importantly, it's the people. People who have somehow, they're like angels, companions, even, you know, they're kind of adversaries who push you and challenge you and make you want to develop yourself and grow. People like my family, my friends, my colleagues. So I'm really grateful for all these wonderful things that have come together and allowed me to have a little bit of indulgence. You could say it's a bit of indulgence to want to be a singer. Why would people want to listen to you stand up and sing and perform and look at you? You know, they could do anything else with their lives. So it's truly a blessing to be able to do this, and I hope the journey will never end, the learning will never end, and the speaking will end, because I know I have 10 minutes. And at this point, I would like to invite our moderator for today's session. We all know him, don't we? Please show your applause for Vishwa Sadashivan.
Thank you very much, Rannie. Give me a hug.
Oh, thank you.
Eat your heart out, husband. Have a seat, please. So, what's this problem with lawyers? Huh? I mean, there's so many lawyers who switch careers. It must be a highly unsatisfying job. I mean, when I started my company several years back in documentary production, I had 3 lawyers who joined me. You know, one of whom was Eleanor Wong.
Oh,
right?
yes.
She quit her job in New York as a very successful lawyer, came over and joined my company because she said she wants to leave law. But she's gone back to teach law. You know, so there's so many people who have left the legal profession, right, to go into entertainment, to go into media.
Yes.
There seems to be a trend, right?
Yeah.
Because if you look at Ivan Heng, Adrian Pang, they're all trained in law.
Yes.
They've gone into, they didn't go to become engineers. That would be tough, I think.
You'd have to go to school for that.
And very few people would want to, very few people would want to become engineers. How many engineers are there here? Okay, shall we observe half a minute of silence? Okay. Philip Yeo would not agree with us, but why is it that there seems to be this trend? It's definitely a pattern.
Yeah. Well, I can only speak for myself, and you know, the likes of Ivan Heng, Eleanor Wong, and even in today's news, we've read about Wong Pek Lin and David, her husband, who started this ice cream business that's just ballooning and blossoming. And
Lin Lee, who started Awfully Chocolate.
Exactly, all from NUS.
Who used to work
law
with
school.
me. Yeah.
Truly?
Yeah.
So she left your office, your company.
So that's the other pattern.
Right.
No, people leave my office too. Okay, we won't go there. As a moderator, I'm ruling that out.
Okay, fair enough. I was, that was a low blow, huh? Okay, sorry. Back to your question, right? So I think, for me, I was more of an accidental lawyer. You know, I think...
You sure you should say that in front of your mom?
Well, I was not an accident, I hope. But the law, I don't think she would mind, because I'm grateful that I studied law. I'm still thankful for that. I'm still glad my parents gave me the education that they gave me. And in a lot of ways, I think I have become the singer I am today because of the lawyer I was, or the education that I received, you know. Because ultimately, it's a mindset, it's an attitude, it's the training, it's your worldview, it is, you know, your approach to life. That's what counts, I think, in whatever you do. So I studied law because it was the obvious thing to do. It was the safe choice.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you get the grades, you qualify, and it's such a highly coveted faculty to enter.
Yeah.
You know, it's so tightly, you know, limited seats, and it's not easy to get in. So if you pass up on that opportunity, you must want something else really badly. So I think at the age of 18, I didn't want to be a singer badly. So you kind of like, you know, just go with the flow, just kind of follow.
And
go
interestingly,
with
that's exactly what Ivan said.
Yeah?
Ivan came for You Alive a couple of years back, and he said exactly the same thing. He said he did law because his parents felt that he needed to do something serious, right?
Right.
And he enjoyed law,
Yeah.
right? And he said after that, he felt that he had done the obligatory thing and then went to pursue his dream. And he's today what he is because he went for his dream,
Yes.
right? But he also shared with me that it is the legal training and the discipline that comes with the training that has made him a much better theatre practitioner.
Absolutely.
Is there truth in that discipline?
It's very true. I mean, you have to be very rigorous about your study. Anything that is thrown at you, you have to understand, know, learn the facts, look at the evidence, analyze, you know, beyond a reasonable doubt or balance, figure it out, and then interpret it, you know, and make it your own. So definitely academic skills, research skills, knowledge skills, thinking process, analytical process, all these things apply in anything we do.
In anything we do.
Yes.
So, do you think Shanmugam can sing?
I've not.
How many of you here think that K. Shanmugam should be able to actually switch careers as well and sing? It's not something that anyone can do. That's the point I'm making, you see. But the problem in our society is we tend to define some professions as soft options.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And singing is unfortunately one of those. Acting, singing, literature, philosophy, these are considered soft options. I don't understand what is meant by soft options, but it's definitely pejorative.
Yeah, true.
Now, so if you have been seen to move from a hard option profession to a soft option profession, generally that would suggest a cop-out.
Yes, absolutely. I've been told in my face, oh, law very stressful. Very stressful, right? As if I can't handle the stress.
Yeah.
Or as if, you know, something must have gone wrong, you know. Or, because there's no way a young upstart singer, you know, would make half the amount of money on a regular basis with bonuses and benefits and everything rolled in as a young upstart lawyer.
Yep.
You know, so I think maybe it's about value more than actually. It's more about the money that you make,
or
income,
values?
the income that we make versus the value add or the real value that we have. Because often we are measured in terms of how much tax we pay, or what house we live in, or what car we drive, or how many maids we have in tow, or how many cars we have, or how many Birkin bags we're carrying, or Pradas, or whatever. I mean, these are all symbols of prosperity, or of achievement. And perhaps in the softer options, these symbols are not so in your face, or they're not easily obtained.
So if these are values, I wouldn't say value, but values that seems to be enshrined in our society.
Yeah.
Do you really think this whole concept of multiple pathways, that we have been espousing for some time in our education system. You know, multiple pathways. We have created SOTA,
Yes.
we have created the sports school, which are great steps, but are they really going to be manifestations of multiple pathways? Or is the academic pathway going to still reign supreme?
Well, I have 2 children, school-going children, and I'm personally very excited for them because, at least in theory, these pathways exist. These are options that we can, as parents, look at and say, okay, even if we do not have all the answers, even if we can't map or see the career, unfolding, these are actual pathways. These are actual avenues that they can choose to go on, and whether or not they make it in that field that they choose to specialize in, that's left to be seen. Because I know many professionals who have taken the tried and tested, who are miserable or who are stressed out of their brains, stressful, whatnot.
Yeah.
Or feeling empty. You reach this crisis, midlife crisis, when you've chased all the chasing, gone for all the values, and the bank balance keeps growing, but you are feeling bankrupt. You're feeling empty, or you're feeling something is lacking. Because my grandfather used to say this, you can give a man anything and he would keep asking for more, because that is the human condition, right? Greed, the insatiable thirst for more, But you feed him a meal and he will tell you to stop at some point. So that's about the only thing that, your stomach can really tolerate. Everything else is infinite. Everything else can just keep being more and more. So I realized at the grand age of 30
Wow.
that that there's just so much money that you can make, because you trade money, you trade time for money, and even though I have over the years been more active with my singing, and I've had to travel and leave the home, I'm still very grounded in the home. And I still have that flexibility and freedom to kind of, choose the work, pick what I feel is important at that time, because there are seasons in life.
Yeah.
We're all just journeying, and there's just a different phase. So multiple pathways, I say, even in theory, if they exist, that's good enough. That's already a breakthrough.
So what do we need? I'm sure many of us at this point are listening very attentively.
Or falling
to you.
asleep.
At least I am.
Okay.
Because whatever you've just said are things that many of us actually may desire. But few of us actually have the courage or the tenacity to take the first step towards. Now, so
I
what
have to confess,
made you?
yeah.
That's when you were on maternity leave.
Maternity leave and hormones raging.
So blame it on hormones.
No, I won't do that. I
No.
would not be a disservice to womankind. In fact, this is a one-up for engineers. They're very solution-oriented, and I married an engineer. So, and he's very, very, very logical, and he could see the problem is voice is not singing. Soul is not soaring. So the solution is give that voice a microphone, and let that voice sing and express itself, and everything will fall in place. I mean, sure.
To come home to a happy wife.
Happy wife, happy life.
Smart chap. My wife is going back to theatre.
Wonderful.
She doesn't know yet.
She doesn't know. It's a good plan.
Yeah.
But I think he gave me the courage. Dharma gave me the courage that I think I had, but I was too, I don't know, it was all numbed out, because you kind of condition yourself a certain way, and And it's a bit like looking at yourself in the mirror, who am I today? Today I'm this. These are all my so-called qualifications, the schools I've been to, so I ought to continue. But when he saw that I was just kind of getting by, and I expressed this desire, and he was like, well, there's always chance for review, There are no deadlock situations, That's the thing we have to
Don't get stuck.
unleash.
Don't feel you're stuck.
Exactly. And we are often prisoners of our own choice, of our own circumstances. So I don't believe that there's no choice.
So
there's
you
no
were
free
in a
will.
state of contentment
Yeah.
until he decided that you should move towards joy.
When I expressed my
For selfish reasons, of
yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Right. So what is the difference between contentment,
Yes.
that many of us think it's joy,
Yeah.
and what joy really is?
Well, I think it's the feeling on a Sunday night. How do you feel on a Sunday night? If you're dreading the Monday morning,
From about 6 o'clock?
when you start talking the blues, I used to start dreading Monday morning on Friday.
Wow. Okay, now we know why those people switch law, right? I thought my life was bad.
Because you're just kind of like, it's going to be another week, and then, and when I was prosecuting at the subordinate courts,
It's guilt, lah.
huh?
Because
Guilt?
you've been prosecuting all those people wrongly.
Karma.
Yeah, it's karma.
No, Vishwa, I have that face where guilty people want to confess. So I don't believe I have put anybody behind bars unjustifiably or.
And that's supposed to give us a lot of comfort. Okay,
So I
never
went
mind.
to prison once to
And I thought
interview a
lawyers are
witness.
supposed to be logical. Okay, it's all right. So you were saying, before
Yeah.
we drifted.
Where were we?
So,
Monday night
Monday
and
night,
Sunday
you
night.
said Friday you start getting the blues.
Yeah, because it's writing on the wall.
And so you realize that that's not joy.
That's not joy, because you should after spending all this time, and really at 30 you're kind of closing in on.
Don't go there.
No? Okay. But you know what I mean? You're not like 15 and you have the whole world,
Yeah.
before you, and you couldn't care less if you brushed your teeth or not, It's a different life, different mindset. So I realized that, wow, I have always wanted to do this, and if I don't do this now, and I'm getting all the encouragement and support, I'm off the hook. I don't have this pressure of bringing in money. and to I can kind of take it incrementally. It was really very gradual. I just had that very basic notion. I just want to sing. I remember sharing it with my girlfriends at a lunch, and it just drew blank stares. They had like, oh, she's really lost it this time.
This time.
This time. Like this time, she's always talked funny stuff maybe, but this time she seems to be really serious that she's acting on this and she's really going to do it. And then it kind of sometimes made them kind of look at their own choice, at their own choices, and say, if I had a talent, I would do the same. I get that a lot, if I had a talent.
So Rani, let me ask you this. You are able to do this because your husband, Dharma, is a professional. And I
yes.
believe you earn a decent wage. Therefore, you can afford to take time off and pursue the dream that you've always wanted to pursue.
Yes.
What if Dharma was, or is, a carpet cleaner who makes, and there are carpet cleaners today, who make $700 a month? Do you think you would still feel that you have the freedom to pursue your dream?
Yeah. Definitely, it's a question of economics. It's, I would be kidding myself if I said that, money is not important, it's your passion, and it's time to be authentic and all that. You have to be responsible to yourself, to your family members, and if you have children, even more so, and you have to pay the bills. But what was, I think, my source of comfort was not so much being able to depend on Dharma, but the fact that if anything happened, I could just...
You could go back.
Be a lawyer. Go back to being a lawyer. And I still have, thank you to my former employers, I still have that open door where I've been asked many times, why don't you come back part-time or do something, So I've never felt that it's a final choice and that's the end of it and there's no turning back or there's no room for review.
No, I understand that. I understand that.
But if I couldn't afford to...
No, but what if, okay? What if Dharma was a carpet cleaner?
Yeah.
You dropped out of school at A levels.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And both of you wanted to pursue your dream.
Yeah.
All right? His dream is to clean carpets.
Sure.
And your dream...
clean carpets.
And your dream is to sing. Why do you think we don't have carpets here? Your dream is to sing. Do you think that would be possible because you don't have something to fall back on? See, what I'm trying to drive at is pathways. When you say we have multiple pathways, the entry point has to be much lower. Pathways cannot be defined as pathways, true pathways, if they're predicated on a whole lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
And therein lies the issues that we face.
Yeah.
Because I know personally of several people, right, who come from families that would require them to go and do jobs that bring a certain amount of income. And they've always had to give up a similar dream.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? That's why I'm asking you about pathways. And I'm asking you this, Rani, because you have chosen to take the pathway. There are many, many others, like myself. If I was in your shoes, I may still...
To be a singer.
No. If I were, you wouldn't want to hear me sing. But if I were in your shoes, I may still not have taken your choice or made your choice.
Yeah.
But that's a different issue. But I'm saying there are many others in Singapore.
Yeah, we all have to sacrifice.
Yeah, but there are many others who are not in a position even to sacrifice, because the assumption of sacrifice is that you have something to sacrifice.
Right. Or the opportunity cost or whatever.
So, so what do you think needs to be done? What do you think needs to be done in our society? I know it's a tall order question, but what do you think needs to be done in our society for multiple pathways to be real pathways, where opportunity cost doesn't become part of the calculus?
Well, I think there's always a trade-off, and the way society is structured, some jobs will be better paying, some jobs, will be lesser paying. There will always be these stratifications and these, classes. So I'm not sure if you're suggesting whether an artist be guaranteed,
Not guaranteed.
Jobs or more opportunities for work be created so that musicians, artists, actors will have, tangible work that they can go to. Are you thinking along those terms? Because if you have just the education but not the, the whole ecosystem being created to support these, creative people.
Actually, that's not what I'm saying. Without having to belabor the point, my point is, I think for arts to survive in Singapore, for culture to survive in Singapore, or even thrive, we need to bring the cost of living and the standard of living a little down. And we collectively need to make that conscious choice to say, we need to bring it a few notches down.
Okay, if it's
like this,
so
if it's right now, it's going to be very difficult. And it's not about giving subsidies to artists, giving rent-free
That's what I'm
premises.
trying to understand.
No, those are that's defining arts as charity.
Correct.
No, I'm talking about bringing dignity by bringing the benchmark a little down. Not the benchmark of quality, but the benchmark of what success is here. Today, as when I was growing up, and I'm sure it was the same case for you,
Yeah.
you know, like many of us, to be successful, you had to be either a lawyer, engineer, or doctor. Today we know that there are many, many other professions that gives you better income. But the benchmark of success still remains academic and income. We need to find a way down. And that's the reason why you are invited today.
Oh. I have to bring down the cost of HDB flats and
You have to join.
the price of a
you
latte.
in the next election, you have to stand for. You have to be a candidate.
Oh, is that so?
And obviously, to win, you've got to join the PAP.
What's that?
Huh?
Oh.
No, this is part of your sacrifice.
This is my conditioning. I can't
You
receive
gotta
any
go,
of this.
and then you got to make all this change happen. And nowadays, when you go in as an MP, there's a good chance that you can be an acting minister.
Oh, because I got stage experience?
Yeah, because you're a
acting,
lawyer.
So.
Because you're a lawyer.
Yeah.
You know how to prosecute.
Can law, can sing, prosecute.
Yeah.
It'll be a
And
trial
you can
all
perform.
in one.
Okay, I shall stop ragging you, but on condition
This is ragging.
that you sing us the song that you sang first. She's going to sing a few songs for us.
We have run out of time, officially.
Normally you'll have to pay quite a bit to hear Rani Singam. This is part of the plot. We wanted to get her to sing for free. So all that was just wayang lah so far.
Then he said, pay lawyers less, pay singers more.
See, you have to show some intellectuality, see, a little bit. Huh? Okay, now, the real show begins. Ladies and gentlemen, Rani Singam.
Truly. Okay.
All right. So, your first free performance for tonight is, my colleague Renu has a request. Renu, what's your request?
Renu. Hi.
Would you sing the song that you first sang when you auditioned for RTS? Do you remember what song it was?
The first song you sang when you auditioned for RTS.
The
Your
children's choir
Children's
in
choir.
1873.
Yeah,
before Singapore.
We were Temasek.
I have no idea. Mom, do you know?
You're part of the choral group,
No
right?
idea. There was a children's choir by the radio and television of Singapore. The then media corp.
At least not RTM.
At
SBC
least,
lah.
then
It
it
was
be
SBC.
first RTS, then SBC.
You mean
then
you're that old? Huh?
TCS.
She's very well preserved, I must say.
Aiyo. It's the makeup.
Oh, it's a makeup, all right.
But I went through 3 morphings of
Okay,
organizations.
don't waste time. Can you sing the song?
Alamak. So the song, I can't remember the song that I auditioned for, but one of the
Amma?
songs that we learned.
Amma? What was the song? By the way, her Amma was my primary school teacher.
Yeah, can you believe it?
The plot thickens.
So now you know why.
Yeah, that's
He
the
is
real
here.
reason why she's here. Because I wanted to please my primary school teacher. Okay.
How cute.
But do you remember the
He's
song?
done quite well. I don't think so.
No, huh?
But I'll sing
Okay,
this
you
song.
sing.
Because I didn't know when I was a child that this was actually a jazz standard. So, when you're a child, you have no idea what are labels and
Yeah.
what are
You
concepts, right?
just
It's
sang.
just music, it's just sound, it's just a song. So it's a song called Swinging on a Star, and very perfect, very apt for today because it's about what you're going to be. I'll just sing part of it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't take
It's
the
free,
whole song.
right?
Free. Wow. Yaya
See,
papaya.
No, I have to do service to my community, musicians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Afterwards, you'll pass the hat.
That too. Would you like to swing on a star, carry moonbeams home in a jar, and be better off than you are? Or would you rather be a mule? A mule is an animal with long, funny ears. He kicks up at anything he hears. His back is brawny and his brain is weak. He's just plain stupid with a stubborn streak. By the way, if you hate to go to school, you could grow up to be a mule. Like that. It's a very strong message, in a
Was there a
child's
particular
song.
reason why you looked at me when you said the last line?
Oh, no. Because the ending,
I take that very
that was a
personally,
cue
you know?
to say we are finishing.
I'm a sensitive Indian man.
Oh.
I might even tear. I'll tell you
Please
what.
don't be offended.
No, huh?
No.
I will
Promise.
tear when I want to tear. Okay, now, let's have some questions so that there's a semblance that this
Yeah.
is still you alive, okay?
Yeah.
Before we get her to sing the next song. Yeah? Otherwise, I may lose my job, which doesn't pay anyway, right? Okay, can we have the first question, comment, and as always say, please, no speeches and no songs.
Yeah. My name is Tan Siping, a graduate of the then University of Malaya at Bukit Timah. Yeah.
Hey, give a hand, lah.
Okay. No, I just, from what your conversation going on, I was thinking, when you live a life and you are so used to your routine, this and that, then there will come a time where something happen that disrupt your life, so to speak. Then you begin to think, yeah, why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? Just like Rannie was. He was a very successful lawyer or prosecutor, so to speak. But at a certain age, you come to realize, hey, I have all the time been wanting to be a singer. Therefore, why can't I strike out and to sing all my heart's content?
Yeah.
So, do you think that all of us live through the life very quietly, peacefully, and all that, until something happens that wakes you up and say, look, oh, I all the time want to be a painter, so why can't I go into that now? Or I want to be an opera singer, why can't I do it now? But sometimes it can be too late. So I'm thinking, at what point must you start planning for your future? Can you answer that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Very
But by the way, Sipeng, I think it's not too late for you.
Never.
If that's what you're driving at. Do you agree with me?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You've got more fire in the belly than many of us here. Right?
In fact,
And yeah.
I think if you're a retiree, it's perfect.
the perfect time.
Perfect time to pick up painting or to learn an instrument or to
To do the
travel.
things that you
or
never had the chance to do.
yeah. As long as your joints will able to take you.
Yeah, yeah. And there's many things you can do.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
I mean,
so
I
how
had
would
a
you-
life-changing moment, my parenthood, right? But there are many friends of mine who are parents, or many of us who are mothers and fathers who might not have been the aha moment or whatever you want to call it. So whatever happens, whether it's a near-death crisis or some personal tragedy or something, if it's something that speaks to you so deeply and so powerfully that you can't ignore it anymore, I would say then it's time to do something about it. Because who cares, really? Nobody cares what you do with yourself. As long as you're being responsible and you're being sincere,
Authentic.
authentic. Because initially there were a lot of, relatives especially, they'd like,
What went wrong?
oh my God, how could you, and what a waste, and
Trying to book you into IMH and yeah.
whatnots, right? Or just completely confused because it's like turning everything on its head. But all the voices and, you realize it's just people maybe speaking out their own thoughts. They're not really they're, what's that word, when you transfer or you're projecting, your own fears. Yeah. It could be that, or they're just genuinely concerned that you've kind of really lost the plot, or you
Yeah.
know, you're going to go bankrupt or drive yourself into, you know, a complete ruin. But after a while, these voices of concern and doubt and
Just-
whatever, they just kind of settle, you know. Or maybe I just tune them out.
No, it's
Over
probably a
time?
combination of both.
Yeah.
But would you say, you know, picking up from Siping's question, most of us, normal human beings, may not have that point of inflection in our lives. Would you say that? Most of us would be on the same trajectory for the rest of our lives.
And they may be well...
And is there anything, the question is there anything wrong with
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
Right?
I think you could be, I wouldn't know, but I wouldn't think that you are unhappy doing what you're doing. I feel that you're more alive than...
We need to have a long chat.
Oh, okay. But as in our perception of things sometimes, and there are many engineers, doctors, lawyers, teachers who are fired up and excited about, you know, what they're doing
No, but I
in
guess
their own
the
way.
question is, earlier on you said, you moved from contentment
Yeah,
to passion and joy,
yes,
right? Suggesting that passion and joy is a higher order
Yes.
factor
Yes.
than contentment.
yeah.
But is it not possible for some of us, contentment
Is enough.
is it?
Yeah,
You know, to be contented means peace of mind.
yeah,
Joy relates to happiness.
yeah.
The two may not always be congruous, right?
I agree. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it, because it's what state of equilibrium or what state of, you know, peace of mind
Yeah.
or satisfaction that we're looking for, you know. Others may think my life is a complete disaster. They might look at it and say, oh, she's such a fool, you know. She's
Are you
shortchanging
Are
herself.
you looking at your parents at this point?
No way.
No.
My parents have been very sweet. I mean,
Very
after
sweet.
they handed me over to the engineer, they washed their hands.
Okay. Thank goodness, man. We finally got someone to take over. This is a nightmare. Thorough case, I tell you. Okay.
No, but they come for the concerts.
That's
and
why
they
I see
watch me
contentment, no? I see contentment in their faces. Yeah. I think it's because of a certain absence.
Yes.
Maybe on that note, we'll go to the next question. Yes, please.
Hello. Good to see you again.
Your mentor.
We had a very nice musical experience together.
My name is Shankar, class of 1971, University of Singapore, Bukit Timah campus. We recently did a program. I'm a musician, by the way. I'm now a full-time musician.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
You've gone back.
Currently,
Well done.
currently, I'll come to the point. Just give me a minute. And we got Rani to actually sing together with my a cappella group in Tamil.
Wow.
I'm not sure whether she has done that before. She probably had, you know. But I never had the guts that she had. I come from a musical family. From very young, I've been playing music, all kinds of Indian classical music, all kinds of instruments singing. But very modest, humble family. Never had the guts to branch out, although I had passion in me, until I had a family. My two sons, one is an engineer, one is a lawyer, like you say, typical. Both musicians, Indian musicians, everybody a hobbyist. So the only thing I could do was, when I reached 55, I opted for a simple, what do you call it, golden or silver handshake. And then I became a full-time musician after that. Currently leader of the Singapore Indian Orchestra, and 6 years as principal of the Singapore Indian Fine Arts Society. Even if I think back, some people ask yourself, when you go back, would you have I don't think I could have taken, I didn't have the guts. Very humble family, I had to raise a family, like what you
This is
said.
what you're saying.
I was the principal breadwinner in the family.
yeah.
My wife, my late wife, also a trained musician, earning just peanuts, teaching a little bit of music and performing. You know, Indian music, the scope here is so limited. So to answer Vishwa's question, many of us had this passion,
Yeah.
never could do it then, until you reached a comfortable position. When I was 55, And now in the last 11 years or so, I've been playing music and doing all sorts of things, traveling with my group. But Singapore is such that very few people have the guts, and I really say hats off to you.
Wow.
Of course, you had an umbrella in your husband.
Yes.
I had
Yes.
nothing.
Yeah. You had to be the umbrella.
I have now a lot of friends who
Yeah.
perform with me, chaps who are a bit younger, in their early 50s, and they say that there are two guys who are full-time musicians from a very young age. Look at my classmates. They have big houses. They stopped at A-levels to pursue the music. But the classmates became engineers, lawyers, doctors, big houses, big family. Look at me, still struggling to live.
Yeah.
That is the real scenario in Singapore.
Right.
You are asking for pathways. Actually, it's very, very tough to actually, you can have the SOTA and all that. SOTA, you can produce something, but the people who have the fire, very few have the guts to do it. I have no answer, actually, as to how to handle the situation, unlike some Western countries, where you can make a decent living even if you're a musician. Here, especially in a very parochial society like us, if you're a Malay musician or an Indian musician, it's very tough.
It's a very
Right.
niche
Thank you.
industry.
Thank you, Shankar.
Yeah.
So I guess he just paid you a huge compliment
Thank
for
you.
having the courage to do what you just did. And as I said earlier on, somebody else could be in exactly the same position as you, but it still takes courage, even with Mr. Umbrella here,
Yeah.
it still takes a lot of courage to be able to take that first step. And I guess we are interested to know at some point, what was that factor, Jeremy Montero
Yes.
was a very important person
Yes.
who gave you the first break, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, in a way that when he offered to collaborate
Yeah.
and to work together, I was given many opportunities, really high-profile, performances.
And your classmate from law school, Andrew, is it?
Andrew was not classmate, no.
Yeah. But he helped to
He was, yes, wow. Yeah, you have done your research. Yes, fabulous.
I have to show you have done my research.
Yeah.
Okay.
Andrew, it was like I wanted to sing. I didn't have a clue who was out there, what was, I didn't have network and, anybody to kind of like mentor me. So, of course, I Googled jazz clubs or jazz sessions, jam sessions, and then I found Thompson Jazz Club having a jam session. So literally, like a salesman, I made a cold call to the contact name. Yeah, I mean, really, it's that kind of, when you have this realization, you just do whatever it takes,
You have nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. And when you've given birth, you've lost all your modesty. So,
Okay.
yeah, if you've been in the delivery room, it's not a pretty sight.
I know.
So, I'm sure,
I've
right?
been in
you
the delivery
understand.
room.
So there's, after you've kind of bad it all,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's
Okay.
only one way but to, just take that step. Take whatever steps, This is a little chipping away, knocking on doors, making the calls. So I made the call, and then I went for the first jam session, and I met Andrew for the first time.
And who was he?
Andrew was also NUS arts graduate. He studied economics, I think, but he chose to pursue music, and he was just jamming that night, that afternoon on a Sunday, and it's just that one encounter, meeting him, subsequently just going for more jam sessions, and then somebody said, you should record yourself, just have a recording, it's like an author who's unpublished, who really knows if you are good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
record yourself, and then we did. I called Andrew. I said, Andrew, can you help me produce this demo? I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I guess I should do a demo.
Yeah.
And whatever that means, help me. And he was very happy too. So he put me in touch with another two musicians, Mario Serio, whom I've also worked with many over the years, and Tony Macaromi, Dr. Tony Macaromi, who's a professor at Yong Suto Music. He had just come back from the US, and so these were my first friends in jazz. I mean, truly cold calls. We recorded, and that was it. And then I just went home and I just played it over and over again, listening to myself. and making everybody in the house listen to the same 3 songs.
So slightly narcissistic.
A bit. It is a bit self-indulgent, you know,
Yeah,
artists.
yeah. A bit. Did you say a bit?
A bit.
Making them listen to it over and over again. No, but I guess it takes that. You know, it takes a little bit of that self-indulgence, believing in yourself, and then what happened?
And then Andrew happened to be happened to have a gig with Jeremy Montero, and Andrew, being Andrew, he's just one of the sweetest people. You know, in his quiet way, he just during the break went and asked the sound man to just play the CD.
Wow.
Not telling me, I didn't know. I had no clue what he was up to because he just had a copy for producing the album, the demo. And then Jeremy heard it and he was like, "Who's that?" You know. And that's how I got to know Jeremy Montero. You know, and I think now that I was, you know, having to prepare for today, I was thinking back, what else did I do? You know, what else did I like have to grovel or you know, work at? And I think I even made a cold call to Showtime Productions, which is Jeremy's company. I think it was probably after the demo or even before. I can't remember. I just wanted to meet Jeremy Montero. You know, I left a voice message, and that was it.
And
nothing. No, I didn't get a call back or anything. Yeah, it was just, I can't remember the number of doors I've knocked on or the people I've talked to. Because it's a bit like that. You're groping in the dark. You're just entering this unknown territory. And
so how did Jeremy finally convey to you that he recognized you?
Oh, wow, he was so cool. He asked Andrew to call me, and he invited me that night itself to join them.
Mm-hmm.
But I was having dinner. We had house guests that night, so I couldn't go that very night. But subsequently, we met up. I think Dharma came with me once. We went to Sheraton Hotel when Jeremy was playing, and we met. And you know, that's how I guess you build your relationships, your friendships, your contacts, so to speak, networking. You know, it was networking, and I didn't.
You didn't
and
know
I wasn't conscious of it.
That's the best networking, when you network without knowing you're networking.
It's not manipulative and, you know, like thought through as a, you know.
By the way, I took the liberty of asking Jeremy.
Did you?
What he thought of you.
You spoke to him? Wow.
He thought he made the biggest mistake.
Yeah?
Getting you to sing. Yeah, because he lost out, no?
He lost out.
No, but
so funny.
He's
been a fan, you know.
He said basically that you are probably the best gift that Singapore's had in jazz.
Wow,
and coming from Jeremy.
Yeah, that's huge. It's very
how much did you pay him?
You know how much I make. How much could I have paid him?
But you got the umbrella.
Umbrella's for me.
Oh, I see. Okay, this is the right time for us to have the second song. Yeah? Yes. So, can you sing Umbrella? No. You got to sing for us the first song the title song in your first album.
Okay.
And you know what? The last song for tonight is going to be?
Okay.
Contentment.
Okay, got it.
Right? You're going to end with contentment, not joy. Hopefully it'll lead to joy. But you're going to sing the title song of your first album.
Yes, that is With a Song in My Heart, which Jeremy Montero produced for me. Oh, I still remember that. It was back in 2004.
2004?
2008, the other production happened, my second son.
The other production. Okay. Where you lost modesty altogether second
twice.
time.
Yeah.
Terrible. Okay.
Okay. I'll sing the verse, which is not often sung, like the preamble. Though I know that we meet every night, and we couldn't have changed since the last time, to my joy and delight, it's a new kind of love at first sight. Though it's you and it's me all the time, every day is a marvelous pastime. You're increasingly sweet, so whenever we happen to meet, I greet you with a song in my heart. I behold your adorable face, just a song at the start.
Sorry.
And I've forgotten the rest of the phrase.
Sorry. I was a bit stoned. I know about y'all. How do you sleep at night, man? You don't sing, huh? Do you sing to him?
I think one thing, I've put him through a lot of singing.
Okay. So, your last song has to be dedicated to Mr. Umbrella.
Che.
Yes, you all agree? Yes. Then you have to come and stand here and receive the song. Okay, we have time for 2 more questions and comments. This is your chance. Yes.
Jeffrey, current staff. How do you keep your passion alive? And what's next? 2 questions.
How do you keep
your
your
passion
passion?
alive,
If it's
and
your
what's
passion, it does not need to be kept alive, I think. You know, it's
You're
something
definitely
that...
a lawyer.
Alamak. Yeah, you never take the lawyer out of the law school and the law room and the... I don't know. I think the passion is who you are. If you define yourself as a singer, you're always listening and looking for new music. When I started, I had to make deliberate attempts to build my repertoire and to learn the songs, to get the vocabulary, to get the knowledge. So I would set myself a target, you know, a bit like an athlete who trains. I would have to do clock in so much mileage a week. So I would learn a song. I would memorize a song. Obviously, that's failing now. But I would memorize a song every week when I was building up my repertoire. And so when you do these daily activities, you know, all these small things, and you enjoy it, you're just motivated to keep doing it and to keep going and either learning more stuff or performing. Because I don't perform regularly, I don't sing regularly in any place. So I have to create that excitement, you know, because you get that high, you know, performing for people and they clap and they, you know, give you that kind of energy, the positive energy or negative. But you just get, you know, very energized when people, you know, when people are positive. So when I don't do that, I have to create that. I watch a lot of YouTube. I learn so much on YouTube. I watch a lot of inconvenient questions. I watch a lot of songs. I learn, if I have to learn a song, I would check out at least 10 versions of that song, you know. Like case law, you know, you go and study. Yeah. Each interpretation, each artist, how that artist presented that song or interpreted that song. So I think just doing the active work.
So the studio, would you say the studio recording is a lot tougher, right? Because you don't have the audience. Because you're right, quite a few performers have said, you know, singers and theatre practitioners, they've said that there's a certain chemistry and energy you get that reverberates from the audience. Huh?
Yes.
You know, but it's a lot tougher, right? When you're singing in a studio, in a cold studio booth.
That's true.
How do you manage
But the
that?
good thing is, in jazz, we do it live. So
even your albums?
Yes, it's all live. And everybody is there, and which is why I had recorded both albums in the US. Because we don't have recording studios here with isolation booths.
Isolation booths.
Yes. So in the US, there are many of those, you know, outfits. So we go in there and we are recording live. So the most we do 2-3 takes per song.
With the live audience?
With the band. So in a way, we are entertaining each other. And there's line of sight. So you can, you know, see, feel, connect, and interact. Then I've also done some recordings where it's, you know, the music has been tracked and everything is pre-recorded, and then I have to just lay my vocals over it. It's different, but the good thing about that is that you have the sound, you have the music. It's like karaoke, you know. So you can like practice and practice and practice, and you kind of know where you want to, what you want
Yeah.
to do with it, and you can be more adventurous maybe. Whereas in a live setting, you're reacting in the moment, and you might not take the chances that you want to take because you're not sure how the other person is going to respond and how it'll pan out.
Would you
So-
say, Rani, if I may just ask you, would you say that it's very hard to, culturally perhaps, to break into a large market like the US market,
Oh yeah, I mean,
even with your level of experience?
I have no idea. I mean, I'm just a baby, really, in this whole scheme, you know. It's
But
just,
but you are fairly well ranked
I mean,
as a jazz singer, right?
I think so. I've been mentioned in this encyclopedia.
Encyclopedia and ranked
I've
among the
performed-
40th, among the top 40?
I'm not sure about that. The songs, maybe,
Yeah.
the albums, yes. But, you know, the US is a vast market. If you're
Yeah.
talking about the ocean versus the Straits of Malacca, you know,
Or
that's
the
the kind
Longkang
of...
lah, Longkang.
Yeah, that's the kind of, you know, comparison. So in terms of market and the pool and the diversity of talent, and there are thousands of Rani Singams out there.
But is it exciting
know?
to be in that
I think so.
ecosystem?
I have friends who have gone to New York because New York is touted as, you know, the mecca of jazz, you know, one
Yeah.
of the beacons of jazz where you can immerse yourself and totally, you know, grow and listen and eat, drink, sleep, everything jazz, you know, and, you know, the aficionados would love it.
Yeah.
And, you know, they feel that they can thrive and really, you know, there's so much of growth and learning and interaction and development and positivity, you know, even if you're not making much money.
Yeah. Even if
Even
you're not.
if you're not, yeah. Because there's something is got to give, right? If you're still making $50 a gig, so I'm not sure if bringing the cost of living down would work. Because even if you bring it down to 50, you know, even if you make $50, the satisfaction in that $50,
Yep.
you know, is beyond any dollar sign. And when you're in that sort of environment, it's very enriching, and you are motivated, you know. It's a bit like Silicon Valley, you know,
Yeah.
where all the innovation is taking place.
And you're also among peers, like-minded peers,
Yes.
right?
Yes, and there's respect and interaction, and you know, you can spar with counterparts. So in a way, you know, people who have made it in Singapore, who have reached the pinnacles, you know, they do feel it's kind of,
Yeah.
you know, you lack that sort of
You don't have enough sparring
community.
partners.
Yes. But the world has shrunk. We can travel. In fact, you know, people like Jeremy Montero, for what he has done for jazz in Singapore, for the industry, I mean, it's because he has
amazing.
gone outside
Yeah.
and he has, you know, collaborated. He has partnered with greats, you know, and worked with like-minded or created pathways
Yep.
beyond our shores.
You're repeating a lot of things I'm saying, no? Yeah. So let me ask you this. When you go out and you've sort of made a name for yourself in certain concerts, certain festivals, right?
Right.
Is there truth in this adage that if you will gain recognition in Singapore only when you gain recognition
Yeah.
overseas?
It's a bit like
I
a
mean, that's
prophet.
been said, right?
Yeah, a
You know.
prophet is not
So if you
celebrated in
so
his
if
own
you,
land.
if you didn't achieve that, do you think you would have gained this level of recognition in Singapore?
Well, we do have a bit of a fascination with the foreign brand, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a colonial hangover
No.
or anything. It's just the fact that if the international market, you know, where competition is stiffer and tougher, and you know, where there are more Rani Singams out there competing for the same piece of the pie, and if you can be noticed there, then maybe, you know, people here would look at you differently. It's not that it's impossible to do it all in our domestic environment, but I think it does lend a lot of credibility to what we do. It's purely a performance indicator,
Okay.
I think.
There's
yeah.
there's one question
Oh.
that's very popular in Pigeonhole A lot of people are asking this question, so I'm going to put it up. After your experience as a live singer in Singapore, would you encourage your kids to follow this path?
Yeah, very good question, because Andrew, my friend, is like, what if your son wants to do this, you know? And I think it's not just about passion, but it's also, you must have more than a modicum of talent, because sometimes in this YouTube environment, all these one-hit wonders and, you know, artists who like become phenomenal successes, you know, it gives a bit of a wrong impression about what it takes, how much talent it really takes to make it sustainable and to make it something really tangible. So, okay, having said that, if there's more than a modicum of talent and if there's passion, I believe that every child should be encouraged. Every child should be given the encouragement, the resources, the exposure, the training. In fact, we've just been having this discussion about my son who has to choose his, subject combination, and he's like, oh, I want to do history jog, all the, And I said, why don't you do music? Oh. His engineer father is asking.
Why don't you do music?
Yeah, why don't you consider music? Because he's going to do the IB. Ah. And we're like, your music is not just to be a concert pianist or to be, the next Bill Evans or whoever. It's not. Music has so much more value. It develops your brain. Your faculties. If you want to talk about actual, tangible value, music has all these powerful benefits. So we are definitely very open, and I think we have to take it on a very case-by-case.
What if you assess that your son doesn't have that modicum, but he thinks he does? And that's really what... No. It does boil down to that, right? You as a parent, in your supreme wisdom, that you believe often comes with age, you decide that he doesn't have that modicum. By the way, that modicum can change.
Yeah, what is
right?
How much, right?
I mean, when you decided to go in, the modicum could be there.
Yes.
When it's your son's turn, for you, the modicum could be there.
Yes, absolutely.
So, because we're all protective of our children. Yeah. Right? True. So that's the spirit of this question.
Yeah, I think I would rely on his teachers as one form of feedback.
No, but what if this is what he wants to do?
Then he has to stand on his own feet.
Yeah.
Do what it takes, and just don't come back and ask for money and say this and that and whatever. Because, let's be very real. Because, you have to...
He should marry an umbrella.
No,
we need a lot more umbrellas.
Or just don't depend on umbrellas. Have a raincoat, or get used to getting wet, or brave the weather. There's a price we all pay. So I think as long as we explain all these things to our children.
So why didn't you give this answer first?
About?
Yeah, this is a much better answer, more authentic, instead of all this modicum and nonsense. You could have. When I asked you this question first, you should have actually, instead of wearing the mother hat, you should have said, I'm going to ask him whether this is really what he wants. If this is what he really wants, then I'm going to be the wind behind his sail.
But if he's tone deaf.
No, there's a difference between modicum and tone deaf. This one, she's doing the lawyer on me, no? Hey, it doesn't work, man.
Okay, 1-0.
Okay, so you cannot, right?
Yeah. No, I think it's hard to disengage, the parent hat, the artist hat. And we are the biggest cheerleaders, of our children.
We are.
We want them to succeed.
Yeah, but
right?
Maybe his notion of success need not be based on what you've benchmarked.
My benchmark is,
maybe he just wants to do what he likes. He may not be able to sing anywhere as well as you, but you know what you said at the start of this?
What
Joy,
did I say?
not contentment.
Yeah.
So maybe this is the right time for us to hear you sing Contentment.
Beautiful segue.
Yeah.
I think this song would sum up everything that we've talked about. Yeah. So the title is Contentment, and it's the title track of my second album. And this is an original song I wrote with another fellow law graduate getaway. Chokorong, this is contentment. I was born into a world full of love. I was such a child with hopes and dreams. Dreams I did not pursue. Never thought I could, yet I was quite contented. Have you had a dream you've kept inside untold? Have you had a burning deep desire? Oh, how each day went by when I yearned to try, but I was too coy to believe in passion. I did not have the courage, but when I listened hard, there were answers. Follow that inner voice. It's who you are. What more can one ask in such a changing world when you can't be sure what will unfold? When there's no fear or doubt, everything is light and everything turns into gold, into gold, into gold, into gold.
Woo! Well, ladies and gentlemen, Rani Singam.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
And you know what, Rani? We are so proud
Thank you.
that you're an alumni of
Proud to
NUS.
be here. I'm very proud to be here. Thank you for having me.
So we don't want you to go empty-handed, but before that, just want you to see how lovely we look.
Oh, wow.
Together.
This is really...
I mean, don't you think...
We can Photoshop it anytime.
we look really good, no? Next time, don't wear such high heels.
But thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This
It's a very
is
nice
for
picture.
you. This
Thank
is for
you
you.
very much.
Thank
Thank you.
I'll hold it for you. Now, we have got something that you need to do. You need to say something really nice about me. Yeah. Here.
This is like a message? You
Like a
want me
message,
to-
yeah, to your son about his
Music.
pathway. Yeah. Your experience tonight.
Yes.
Any message for us, for NUS? So while Rani is doing this, next month we'll have the final You Alive for this year. It's going to be Ilim Chu. Remember, you've heard of her, I'm sure? She's going to be a fascinating speaker. She loves youth. She is youth, right? So if you can make the time, it would be wonderful if you can join us. Okay, you want to read it
Sure.
for us?
Okay. A life without a dream is a life without hope. Here's to life. Here's to NUS. Here's to you at live.
Yay! You should go back to law. Thank you,
How
Rani.
many things to
Thank you,
do?
Rani. We'll leave this here.
Thank you. Okay.
And one more round, please. Rani
Thank
Singam.
you very much. Thank you. Thank you,
Shall we,
Vishwa. Thank you.
shall we go out?
Okay, yes.
You want to remove the microphone?
Ah,
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah, good
I
idea.
can't take this home.
You can't.
No, okay.
Our budget is quite tight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have some refreshments.
I guess we should do it now. Oh.